We live in an era where men are constantly told they need to prove themselves, flash wealth, dominate conversations, seek validation. But here's the hard truth. The moment you start trying too hard, you've already lost. Young women are wired to detect inauthenticity. They don't want a man who's compensating for something. They want someone who's solid, composed, and unshaken, someone who is internally fulfilled, not searching for external approval. Keanu Reeves is one of the most respected men in Hollywood, but have you ever seen him try to prove himself? No Instagram flexing, no desperate attempts to stay relevant, just quiet, effortless confidence. And that's what makes him so damn magnetic. So what are the biggest turnoffs that make young women lose interest in older men? And how can Stoicism help you avoid these self-sabotaging behaviors? Let's break it down. If you want to master control over your emotions, relationships, and presence in the modern world, hit that subscribe button. Now, let's get into it. 1. The biggest turnoff, desperation for validation. You've seen it before. An older guy, successful, financially stable, but the moment he's around a younger woman, he tries too hard. He brags about his money, name-drops celebrities, flexes his latest car or vacation. He showers her with compliments, buys extravagant gifts too soon. But instead of attraction, all he gets is a polite smile and a growing distance. Why? Because young women don't fall for wealth alone. They fall for men who are secure in themselves, men who don't need validation to feel worthy. Social media has changed the dating landscape. Young women scroll through Instagram, bombarded with guys showing off luxury cars, expensive watches, and high-status lifestyles. And here's the truth. They can tell who's genuinely successful and who's compensating for insecurity. If a man leads with material things, he's signaling one thing: he doesn't believe he's enough without them. Detachment from external validation. A Stoic man knows his worth isn't based on how much attention he gets or who he dates. He doesn't need to prove himself. He lets his presence, his composure, and his mindset speak for him. Next time you're on a date or talking to a woman, hold back the need to impress. Don't lead with achievements. Let your energy, your silence, and your calm confidence create intrigue. 2. Over-emotional reactions to rejection or criticism. Ever seen a man get rejected and immediately turn bitter? He starts ranting about how modern women don't appreciate good men, or young women only want money and status. He gets defensive, aggressive, maybe even starts attacking women online. But here's the problem. That emotional reaction tells women everything they need to know that he's weak. Let's say you meet a woman, she seems interested, but then she stops responding to your texts. Instead of accepting it, you double text, triple text, then start getting angry. The moment you let your emotions take over, you lose all your power. Rejection is part of life. It's not personal. You can't control how someone else feels, but you can control your reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When a woman pulls away, when she loses interest, let her go." A true Stoic man doesn't chase. He simply moves forward. Next time you feel rejection creeping in, pause. Instead of reacting emotionally, observe your thoughts. Ask yourself, am I in control, or are my emotions controlling me? Then let it go. 3. A lack of purpose and direction. Younger women aren't looking for a man who just exists, they're looking for a man who is going somewhere. A man with drive, ambition, and purpose. Look at someone like David Goggins. The man wakes up at 4 a.m., trains like a machine, constantly pushes his limits. He doesn't chase validation, his mission is his purpose, and that's what makes him magnetic. Now compare that to an older guy who drifts through life, waiting for a woman to give him meaning. He's stagnant, unmotivated, living in past achievements. The second she senses that, she's gone. If you don't have a mission, you will chase meaningless distractions. The Stoics knew this well. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." A man without a focus is easily swayed by temptation, emotions, and external approval. Find your purpose, and everything else will follow. Women respect men who are on a mission, not men who make women their mission. Write down your mission in one sentence. Not about women, not about money, about you. What drives you? What do you wake up for? 4. Complaining about how things used to be. We all know that older guy who won't stop talking about the good old days. He rants about how women used to be different, how society has changed for the worse. And guess what? It repels young women instantly. The world evolves. Either you adapt or you become irrelevant. Young women don't want to hear about how much better things used to be. They want a man who moves forward with the times. Adaptation is strength. Complaining is weakness. The Stoics didn't resist change, they embraced it, controlled their response, and thrived. Next time you catch yourself saying, "Things used to be better," replace it with, "How can I evolve?" Growth happens in the present, not in nostalgia. 5. Overinvestment in short-term gratification. Older men who jump from woman to woman, chasing the excitement of new relationships, often end up alone. Why? Because young women see it as a lack of depth and emotional maturity. Take a man who spends years pursuing quick dopamine hits, random flings, partying, distractions. Compare him to a man who invests in himself, his body, his mind, his business, his philosophy. Who do you think earns real respect? A man who masters himself doesn't need to chase. He lets life come to him. This is the core of Stoicism: delayed gratification, long-term vision, self-mastery. Build a foundation that lasts. Instead of chasing temporary pleasure, build something of substance: your health, your mind, your wealth. Audit your time. How much of it is spent chasing quick highs versus real self-improvement? Shift your focus. Imagine being in your 40s or 50s, walking into a bar, feeling invisible. The younger women you once effortlessly connected with now see you as just another older guy. You notice their polite smiles, their forced laughter, their wandering eyes. Deep down, you feel that the social dynamic has shifted, and for the first time, you start questioning yourself. What happened? Is it your age, your appearance, your status? No, it's your energy. Women don't reject men because of their number of years. They reject the energy that comes with desperation, bitterness, or emotional neediness. And the older you get, the more pronounced it becomes unless you fix it. I think about that older man who suddenly finds himself single after a long relationship or marriage. He re-enters the dating world, unprepared for how things have changed. He starts chasing, overcompensating, trying too hard to be cool. And young women, they sense it immediately. The more he tries to impress, the less they're interested. Or the guy who gets rejected and spirals, he starts blaming women, society, and modern dating culture. Instead of evolving, he grows resentful. Instead of adapting, he becomes a caricature of the bitter older man. And then there's the other type, the man who, regardless of age, commands attention effortlessly. He doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He just is. And women notice. Not because he's perfect, but because he's solid. Take Robert Downey Jr. In his younger years. He was self-destructive, addicted, and unreliable. But when he rebuilt himself, he became an icon of maturity, discipline, and purpose. Women don't admire him because of his fame alone. They admire the transformation. He's proof that a man who masters himself never loses his value. The same applies to you. No matter your age, no matter your past mistakes, you have the power to redefine yourself. And that's what separates men who attract from men who repel. When was the last time you caught yourself over-explaining, over-flexing, or over-apologizing just to gain someone's approval? How much of your energy is wasted trying to control things that don't matter? If you stopped chasing validation and focused on mastering yourself, how different would your life be in 1 year? Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, observe your own behavior. How often do you seek external validation? How often do you let emotions dictate your actions? Awareness is the first step to control. If this message resonates, drop a love emoji in the comments. Let's see how many men are committed to mastering themselves. Young women are not avoiding older men because of age, they're avoiding certain behaviors that signal weakness, insecurity, or emotional instability. A Stoic man is the opposite. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't react, he observes. He doesn't over-explain, he simply is. Here's something you can do tonight. Write down 3 things you're currently stressing over, whether it's dating, finances, or status. Then ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is no, let it go. This is your first step toward real Stoic mastery. If you're serious about becoming a high-value man, not just in dating, but in life, hit that subscribe button. Every week, we break down powerful mindsets to help you dominate your own reality, no matter what life throws at you. And in the next video, we'll talk about the biggest mindset shift that instantly makes you more attractive without changing your looks, income, or status. Stay tuned.